Hello, welcome back to the Evil campaign, but this time with more speed. Let's get into it. This is an RTS game where you collect resources to finish the objectives. So in this mission we're going to have to build up from literally nothing, which is going to take forever. And this mission just kind of sucks. Turn health bars on with the key above enter.
Flesh.
We need to get 5 workers to the end here, and the bottleneck is a tower, which we have to destroy or our units won't fit past. There is a lot of build up to do, and not a lot that happens during it, because if we go just a bit forward then 4 rangers will come and attack us, which we would simply take far too many losses building. Because multiple workers give a very minimal amount of additional working speed, we want to get the storehouse to as built as possible. That way when this is finished, all the workers will say, oh, there's still something to build, and hop off right there without us needing to give them a click order, so they start getting resources immediately. We'd love to start up building these other things, but we can't build them until the hulk's completed.
An objective has been completed. Construction is complete.
So these guys are going to pick up food, and we're also going to pick up some ore. You have to build a well on you have to build a storehouse on a well to get food, but you don't need to build anything on ore to find it. You can get a smeltery, but we're not actually going to do that just because we need so little ore in this mission. Set up our control groups. You are going to be 7 and you are going to be 8. And we can't build anything because we need more population capacity, which we get by building slave masters.
By Sauron's will.
We want to queue up 3 workers, 2 workers total onto ore. And we're going to be using orc bowmen because orc slashes are just more expensive and worse, and orc bowmen are range units, and in this game melee units have some quirky pathfinding that makes them really not that hot, and range units do not have this problem. So we're going to get the second slave master going, and we're also going to be using goblin spearmen. They are surprisingly good units for their costs, like orc slashers, 180 HP, 10 food, 0 armor for 65 food. For 35 food we get 85 HP, 7 attack and 1 armor, which is definitely a lot better than nearly half the price of the unit. Now that the orc bowman has finished training, we have enough units to grab the aggro of these rangers and then just run in circles. Because as you can see, melee units have some very interesting pathfinding. This game has a counter system, but it's incomplete basically, because we don't even have all 3 units in this counter system. We don't have a good blunt unit. Yes, slave master the blunt, but they do 3 damage, and they're not supposed to be used in combat. So I need to control group 3, so I've got you when I need you later.
I'm off.
We only have cutting and orc slashers, which are too expensive for us to use much, and piercing and archers and spearmen. Fortunately, the bonuses at this tier are only 0.9x.
What is it?
But as the game gets later, then you end up with bonuses like 0.5 times damage, which is a big reduction. We're going to place a war post if we can, and that's going to knock them back, which is just going to help keep our units alive.
I'm off.
We need more slave masters, that's why 1 is training.
Servant of darkness. By Sauron's will. I want flesh.
Then there should be some rangers which appear, and we're just going to
You command.
do what we can to get rid of them. We'll place a war post somewhere if we can. That's a completely useless location, but oh well. Going to try and pull our units out from combat where we can, but sometimes it's just worth it get a few more of those in, because pathfinding in this game, they don't even flee properly. Now, as soon as we have enough resources, we'll grab our workers. It's going to tell us about fate powers. We earn fate slowly over time from, not over time, we earn fate by damaging enemy units and buildings. And fate has two good uses, fate powers and heroes. Unfortunately, we don't have any heroes accessible. Hey, please attack me, will you? So I can bait you all off the Shadow Realm. No, you're not biting? You're not biting. Wow, they really wanted that orc bowman.
Your troops are under attack. Construction is complete.
It's going to switch workers over to war there.
No mercy.
Bears do knockback, and they're pretty decent units as they can see from their stats. They're actually tier 4 units. Tier 3 game, and we're using tier 0 units, which is why their stats are so much bigger. But they're not our problem for our horde of orc bowmen, who with that orc mask we just picked up are going to be doing loads of extra damage, which obviously very nice.
I'm off. I hear and do.
There we go. We wanted to just grab the attention of those goblin orc, those Gondor swordsmen, so we don't grab the attention of those lot as well.
Yes. Who needs my work?
Now, are they going to build the war pipes? They actually are! Building those is super finicky. And now we have the final battle ahead of us, with, that looks like, enough units.
Bow ready. Fast as I can.
Gonna wait, since the goblin spearmen are much faster than everybody else. Gonna keep the workers back, since if those die we'll be in a pickle. And we're going to use our first fate power, Bonk. That is going to slow by half the attack damage of every unit in the vicinity, which is going to give us enough time to bash this building in. We will reapply it if needed. And run off to the victory. So, as you can see, that did not last long and was 2 fate, and you might think, well, that's a pretty terrible usage of it, but we don't get a choice in that mission, since the other thing we'd use fate for, heroes and purchasing hero abilities, we don't have any access to. But we will have them in the next mission, which, this one has a very fun first half and a very boring second half. So we're going to actually build a second hovel just because we want that many units at that much speed. We're going to put you on 7 and you on 8 and you in 1. Grishnak, a strong fighter. So heroes have lots of good abilities. They took away one ability and I don't know why. In particular, this gives him a 50% attack speed and movement speed boost for free, which is very handy, and the other one does a lot of damage to buildings and set them on fire. Fire in this game looks very pretty, but isn't actually very good, but the biggest reason that ability is good is just the 100 damage on hit, and the fact that it has an 8-second cooldown, which is completely ridiculous. If you think that is a way better investment than spending 2 fate on Bog, you would be absolutely correct, but that's not a choice we had, unfortunately. Going to order 3 workers total on ore, and as Grishnak stabs things, he'll slowly gain XP, which is going to increase his attack, armor, and his health, all of which are just going to make him better at not dying, which we kind of need him to, because in this mission, if we lose him, we automatically fail, which is, I'm sure you can imagine, a bit of a bummer, but we'll keep an eye on him. The health bar portrait's very handily shown there. He's in control group 1, so should be all okay. Normally you want 4 to 5 workers on a deposit, but since this deposit the hovel we were given to start with is slightly further away than usual, we will actually put 5 on it. And we're not putting the full amount on ore just because we don't quite need it just yet. And it's more important to start ramping up production of Goblin Spearmen, because as you see, we're going to use Grishnak to bait the entire, not quite the entire, but most of it, enemy force out. And here the counter system actually is in our favour, because Riders of Rohan are blunt and Goblin Spearmen are cutting. So we get to do a lot of extra damage, although as you can see their 85 HP just really is not much at all. And they're going to start poking our workers, which is all completely fine. The Rohan archers went away, which is not ideal, but we'll make it work. We're losing a lot of Goblin Spearmen, but our Slave Masters are still intact, which is the really important bit. We've got our Fate, so we'll purchase that on Torch. And abilities, with one exception, are free to use. Which, if you thought that's quite good, it definitely is. 7, rally point on Grishnak.
Yes, I can smell their fear. Words for Grishnak. A wise plan, Master. Yes, my lord. Tell me. Yes.
There's those.
I shall not fail.
There's those Rohan archers that went back earlier. Bit of a shame that we weren't able to catch them now. But we'll make it work. You need to withdraw, you're too wounded.
I await your command. Bring it down. At once.
More units. You can see, even though we haven't hit the full amount on ore, we still have plenty, and that's because Goblin Spearmen do not cost any ore.
For the lidless eyes. A wise plan. Light it up. I shall not fail! I await your command! As you wish! Taste my steel! Spearman ready! Guard them! Yes, my lord!
Grishnak taking a lot of damage here. What we ideally want is for a Slave Master to tank that Tower Fire, but all of them are on low HP. Which, not exactly ideal, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Once, as you wish, a wise plan, Master. My sword! Bring it down! Destroy it!
Ideally that Slave Master survives, but if he doesn't, not the end of the world. We've still got plenty of killing capacity spare.
Something to stab!
And before we get too excited, we need to order the construction of these 2 buildings which are needed for the objective. If we don't do that, despite the fact that this town has been wiped out, they will not actually notice, which is pretty funny. Yeah. The voice of acting and music in this game are both absolutely excellent. If you have enough units, they'll do a group cry like melee unit pathfinding. This is why we were using Orc Bowman in that first mission. And we're actually going to demolish that immediately because we have no use for it. And we're going to rally point some workers there because there are some extra resources there that we would really, really like.
I await your command.
We're alternating using torches so that the fire damage can stack up, since it looks really pretty and it does a little bit of damage at the time of this mission. The big thing is that 100 damage on that. So the armies of Gondor are going to notice that we have been a little bit mischievous over here and blown something up, and they're going to come for revenge. And they're going to take forever. That is actually a lie. The first of the great armies of Gondor has not been spotted in the east and will not be bothering us right now. We have a very long time, and this is where the second, more boring phase of the mission starts coming in.
Yes, my lord.
We want to grab this place of power. It gives us +1 armor, but more importantly, it means they don't have +1 armor, which is going to let us beat them up quicker, which is going to be handy because that's That's what we need to do. It simply wasn't worth to go and get that early in the mission, even though it was still completely accessible.
Ready for battle.
I'm liberally using their control groups of Control 1 means assign... There is an army of Gondor, or is that just a random... No, that's just a random horse rider.
Construction is complete. Construction is complete.
So, now that we can actually place control over this hovel and put it in the best locations, we want to have 4 each. And as for what we're going to do about these armies of Gondor, we are going to just turret the place up, since we don't really have anything else to do while we wait for them to arrive. You're not going to actually outbuild that. And so we're just going to build towers on the spot where they spawn, because we've got so much time, we can't speed any of this up. And that's just what we're going to do. So we have to place some war posts so we can build on that. Now that is an army of Gondor, and you might think, well, that's not very many units. Sure, some of them are off screen, but I was kind of expecting a bit more. And you would be right! There is a bizarrely low amount of units, which is another reason why the second half is so boring. It would be one thing if you had to actually fight a big and dangerous opponent, but no. Grishnak and these 35 food units were able to just completely blitz them. We would love, you can also shove units in towers. They will gain extra, the towers will gain extra fire rate from doing so. We would love to be able to shove, there's a precise tower to fit, so glad we were able to get that quickly. We would love to be able to shove workers in towers, but we can't, so instead we're going to be spamming Goblin Spearmen, because hey, they also go great in towers, and it means that for like 105 food we get an entire like plus 40% of a tower, actually plus 35%, which is very nice, and they also heal units that are stuffed in them, which is also handy. So we're going to keep the towers going, and they're just going to start shooting. And we're going to pick up Fate, which to be honest we don't really have much of a use for. The only Fate power that helps us kill things faster is the Balrog, and it's a melee unit, and it's not going to behave well with all these towers, and there aren't even enough of them that we're going to get it, because Fate in this game is non-linear. The more you have, the harder it is to get it. So picking up 1 Fate point, super easy. Picking up 7 takes a long while. Something I will actually do is I'll send you back over there, so we can maximize our resource. But we are going to be limited by food and not ore, as you can see there. In fact, we're going to be so not limited by ore that we're going to train slave masters even though we don't need them, solely because we can use them to garrison in towers. Grishnak is now a very lovely level 6, which is very nice, not to be sneezed at. And he started at like 450 max HP, now he's at nearly 600 in armors, and attacks 25 when previously it was 5, so definitely some nice stat bonuses there, and it's completely free. All he needs to do is fight the battle, and all units have passive regeneration. Hero regen is slightly faster, so we don't need to use Vile Surge, which tops up health in an area to keep him at full health, which is nice. The good side has several ways of single target healing, but unfortunately for heals in the evil side are super hard to come by. So we will be playing most of the missions without almost any way to heal our units outside of Vile Surge, which really sucks. We absolutely wish we could, but we can't. Now that the tower fortifications are done, we can kind of focus more on getting them all garrisoned up. We want them mostly garrisoned to 3, except for a few ones in the center, which will garrison to 4, just because that kind of works out better since they'll continually always be firing, whereas the ones in the back won't be firing so much.
Or is running low. Construction is
Something to stab once, master. I go. Yeah.
And we wait.
words for
And as you can see, Tower's doing a fantastic job, continually shooting at 14 damage per second, whereas our melee units would be 7 damage per second and run around, and our ranged units are half the food price of a tower and would have to run around and get in pathfinding range when
Sauron's will.
these other units do not have this problem. Krishnak's health is very nice, it's actually at maximum. Normally he's been beat up from fighting Wood for so long. Also,
Construction is complete.
Yes, my lord.
the units from the Orc Mound and Beast Lair that we demolished earlier, they're more expensive than Goblin Spearmen, and it doesn't matter what units you have in a tower, it just matters whether there are units or not, so we may as well just fill them up with literally the cheapest at our disposal. That was an Army of Gondor, and it barely even got on screen.
Yes, my lord.
10 out of 10.
Always
By Sauron's will.
Always fast. Something to stab. Something to stab.
I usually actually need a few more towers down here. It's usually what I find the limiting factor is, but that's also partly because we kind of excessively built up here, which is not super needed.
Something to stab. Something to stab. Not yours.
Really want more Goblin Spearmen, and a lot of them. Oh, we've got you 3 lazy loafers.
Something to stab. Something to stab.
It's probably unnecessary. And just checking if there are any other stray units that got lost. This is not the final army of Gondor. We wish it was, but no, we're still going to be stuck here in Purgatory for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Construction is complete.
Snarks is barely gaining any experience now because the towers are doing all the slaughtering instead, which, hey, we don't mind how it's done as long as it gets done fast so we can get out of this boring mission quicker. The first half is fun, second half a bit slow, as you can see. We could send Krishnark off to do this, but we don't actually need to do this, and I don't think it actually does anything in terms of making the next wave spawn quicker. Somebody else is welcome to try around. Please. I just want infinite amounts of Goblin Spearmen.
By Sauron's will.
Is the enemy near? Something to stab. Something to stab. Something to poke. Spearman ready. Something to poke. Something to stab.
Pile of ore has been depleted.
Yes, my lord.
Don't massively care about that. We may as well park the workers there because they will fight back with their 5 damage if somebody is within range.
Not yours.
Actually go
Something to stab. Something to stab.
What other towers need garrisoning?
Something to stab.
That one can
Is
do
the
it
enemy
4.
Crack the whip.
Something to stab. Something to stab. I'm tired of waiting. Something to stab.
Yeah, we'll just build one more down there. Hopefully it gets done in time and probably won't.
Something to stab. Spearman ready. Something to stab. Is the enemy near? Something to stab. Something to stab.
Should be to there they go. And actually this one is actually pretty big. None of the Fate powers actually will help at us dishing out damage. This one won't even do anything as that's ranged resistance to range units, and there aren't any range units. And there we go. 16 minutes on the dot. That's not bad at all. And we're going to change tack for our next missions and jump 2,000 years in the past to Dol Guldur and Sauron taking strength there. This mission is going to entrust us to detector units, which are our Wraith, and stealth units, which are the enemy Elven archers. We have to get a Wraith nearby to them before they will become revealed. And the wraiths are very fragile, as you can see, they're already at yellow health. Now we're going to do something a little funky. We're actually going to not order most of our military units onto that and instead onto the camp. And that is because hero XP, heroes gain less XP on their buildings than they would on units. So, as long as all our units survive, we can let them kind of tank for a bit because they'll get their health back through the regeneration. So, those familiar with the lore may remember that the Lord of the Nazgul, the Witch King as we call him, was responsible for the deaths of both the kings of Arnor and Gondor, and stabbed Frodo and did all those things, and so surely he should be super powerful, but in this game he sucks. Like, those stats are not impressive. Sure, he will get slightly better as he levels up. He has no useful abilities. I said Warpost. We're actually going to build 2 goblin hovels just so we can get everything done quicker. And there's another ability which isn't available to us for some reason. They really like doing them in the campaign, and I don't know why. And this ability doesn't even do any damage. It's a teleport ability, which is a surprise to me that will help us later. That he's just kind of impressively bad. They definitely got shafted in this adaptation of him. Even Frodo is a better fighter, I would argue. Going to order that well to be constructed.
Construction is complete.
Mercy. Good idea, Master.
Going to order 5 workers total on that, just so that we can put... There we go. We wanted our slave masters in the front so that they tank while the Witch King hits them, and these units stay back, because we don't need the help to take out just one elf ward, and they're not very damaging units. You're 7, you're 8, you're 7, you're 1. We can get more wraiths if we need them, but it's a long build up and we would really just rather not have to do that. So we're going to keep our wraiths in a separate control group and hopefully have them hang back so they don't get beaten up instead.
Something to stab.
And when we eventually have enough ore, we'll build a slave master, and then we have enough ore after that, we'll go for orc mound so we can start getting more orc bowmen, because orc bowmen very good units.
Something to pull, something to stab. I'm tired of waiting. Something to stab.
Want to grab the attention of that bear, but hopefully not anybody else.
Upon your order. Your troops are under attack.
Witch King is taking a bit too much of the damage for my liking. It's more like it. Actually, on 2 workers, since ore is going to be a little less important now that we've got that constructed. We could get a Fortress of Mordor, which would allow us to get some of these more important buildings, but it's just not worth the money since range units are just so much better, basically. And our Goblin Spearmen are always reliable for their price point. Sure, they're cheap, but they're not half bad. Now, yes, that was what I was waiting for. Witch King is now a nice level 3. And we have enough bait to do some fun things, which...
I hear and obey. Yes, my master.
You can see that units are going to start magically shooting us from outer space, and those are stealth elven archers, which we need to bring... you need to be controlled with a knife.
Crack the whip.
Now we're going to do something a little funny. We're actually going to watch the cutscene coming up, and that's because units in cutscenes are invulnerable, and these spiders are really good, and we want to save as many of them as we can. And that's kind of tricky if they're all dying horribly. So while our units advance, we're just going to also want to switch the priority of a few of them, since using those is not super important. We definitely want to keep that bear stunned, because as you can see they will stun whatever they're attacking, which is great for us, bad news for them. That is a nice amount of spiders we managed to save. It's kind of RNG, unfortunately, just where your units go, which ones the enemy end up attacking, which can make it a bit annoying at times, but that is plenty of spiders. And as you can see, melee unit pathfinding, there's a maximum number of units that can actually attack any one unit at once. Some of those, it's normally 8, but we're only able to fit 4 because of how close they are to impassability. And it just becomes a mess that we're glad we don't have to deal with. So we don't... Since our units are at decent health, we're actually going to cast Murder of Foes for the first and only time, which is going to give us units a temporary immunity to ranged attacks. And since we're mostly being shot at by towers, that's going to be quite nice. But as you can see, the area is a bit pathetic, and it's just overall... no, that's just my... Get me more units. We do kind of need to bash these towers down, or else they will dog any reinforcements that we try to send, which we do want those, but otherwise they just get shot to pieces. Still got a nice amount of spiders, and we still have all 3 baits, which is by far the most important bit. And we have 2 fate, which is enough to bulk these suckers down. Bogging is going to half their attack rate, which is going to be very useful, and it's going to let us get all our units in position. We need more of you. Ow. I was wondering where that was. As long as we just kind of do that, we should be good. Witch King is dangerously low health and is being shot at, so we will lose the mission if he dies, actually. So don't want that at all. And now that the tower's down, there are basically no more sources of damage. Want to put the Slave Masters on there because they'll do minimum 1 damage per second. Oh, sweet! Bear's just standing there doing nothing. That suits us fine, since otherwise it can be a huge problem. Well, not a huge problem, we just need to fight through spiders to paralyze it. But if we don't have to do that, I am not complaining. Oops, there he goes. Jumping up an Orc Bowman. And before the mission ends, we do need to purchase that, which is going to let us teleport, and that is a surprise tool that will help us later.
With the path.
841, not bad at all. Now we have a quite long build-up mission. There are 5 Elven temples we need to collect, and there are a lot of enemy units in our way. And we're actually going to construct a Fortress of Mordor so we can advance to the next tech level, which is going to give us access to powerful units, technologies, blah blah blah, and it'll also get us access to the paralyzed technology, which spiders don't get for free. We got it for free in the previous mission, but we're not going to get it, but we're going to have to buy it the normal way in this one. We're going to grab the attention of some Elven archers. And then beat them up for XP. Going to slightly oversaturate our deposit just so that we can pull workers for building without any issue. Hopefully the Slave Master survives. You've got to be kidding me. Elven archers, or just range units in general. But not the end of the world. Definitely a slowdown, but we got most of our workers out.
The whip teaches.
That is why, in the previous attempt I recorded, I didn't even bother going for those Elven Archers, because sometimes they shoot the Wraiths, sometimes the Witch King just takes stupid amounts of damage for no discernible reason, sometimes blah 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 blah. So that definitely would slow us down, but it is okay.
What? Get going!
Partly because we would still be waiting for a third Slave Master anyway. But definitely not at all ideal. But not a run-ended. That's one of the nice things about this game. There are very few, like, no cycles you need to meet. You can kind of do everything at your own pace and push through the missions when you are comfortable with what needs to be done, and that'll be fine. Like, the enemy isn't building up forces to come and attack us. In fact, they won't build forces for quite a few missions. This is all just getting rid of static once-off units.
A building has been upgraded.
We're going to upgrade that, get another Slave Master. And now that this is done, this war post is kind of useless, so we're going to get rid of it. You would think you could fit another building here, and we can fit one of these, which we're going to get later, but you can't fit an Orc Mound, which is the next building we want, so we're going to have to actually place another war post to get that done. You were 7, you were 8. And while that's waiting, we'll start spamming Goblin Spearmen.
By Sauron's will.
And now we can pick up Paralyze, which is going to take 90 seconds to research, which is quite a lot. Tech upgrades in this game are almost cheaper and quicker, which is definitely an interesting balanced decision that I would have done differently. But it's the way it is, and so Paralyze is just only coming this way. And you might say you're getting Paralyzed, but I don't see any spiders, and that's because we're going to pick up 4 free spiders right here, which is not a game-ending force by any means, but it sure is a lot better than not having 4 free spiders. And Paralyze is just going to keep our units alive, because there's an extra set of resources all the way over, like here-ish, but by the time we get there, the level is almost entirely over, so we're basically stuck at these 2 resource deposits. And remember, if you want 4 to 5 workers, stacking any more won't actually increase the rate that you get money.
Construction is complete.
That's good.
What is your will?
So with that done, we won't be needing to micromanage our workers much. And actually, we're also going to grab on you and nab these spiders, which is going to put us over PopCap. That's why I checked to see if we've got a Slave Master in the queue.
I tired of where to kill. We were glad.
And since we will be upgrading the Fortress of Mordor anyway for other reasons, as there's a few things we want from a higher tech level, we don't need to worry too much about that. It's Paralyzed, that means we can move it.
Something to stand.
And you saw how much just 2 Elven Archers were still able to completely gank the Slave Master, but because of Paralyzed, they can't do anything. Which is great.
Of a place.
The other reason why we really want Paralyze is about here we should find this sucker called Draylor, who he's got basically hero level stats, and if we don't kill him he'll run back off base and he'll keep annoying us. But if we paralyze him he can't escape and we'll get rid of him for good, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is very handy. We're going to use the Witch King to fade all these units out. And run back here with the teleport ability.
I go at once. serve our target.
And then about this time, we will upgrade that. Did I not set the rally point for you onto... I didn't.
You have taken control of
We're just going to leave that yawning here and hopefully he won't interfere.
It lies now in the realm of darkness speaks.
Rays are super squishy, and we do have 4 of them, so it's not the end of the world if some of them die, but of course, ideally, we'd like to keep as many of them in good shape as we possibly can.
We serve our building has been upgraded.
Excellent. That is going to enable us to build the Black Bolt, which is going to give us an upgrade that will double our Wraith's line of sight. Our Slave Masters are getting ganked because they're kind of at their limit of their utility in terms of game value, because these are Tech 3 and Tech 4 units we're fighting now, which can be a little bit hard for us to kill with our lower tier units, which is where the Paralyze comes into so much clutch, because it doesn't matter how much damage these units do if they can't do any of it because they're stunned. We actually also need to change the rally point of a few things. Construction should nearly be done on that. And we can't use our standard control click attack move order because otherwise they'll aggro on the buildings and we don't need to kill the buildings. The AI does not produce anything. No, I want that one first. So now that that's done, sure, I think I can afford to use Survival Surge. Yes. That may be a mistake. We shall see. And this temple for some reason is almost completely undefended. We could get upgrades to increase the damage and attack, speaking of which we'll actually destroy that now to get some money back. But it's just not worth it instead of actually...
Something to stab. It lies now. The temple of dark will be heavily guarded.
They will indeed be heavily guarded. We have a lot of units to deal with over here. And a Ballista Tower, which as you can see does knock back, which kind of sucks, but we'll make it work. We need to set the rally point of these units differently, because if we didn't then they'd take this other route round, which would result in them getting clobbered by some elves on the other route. So, in the interest of keeping our units alive, it would be nice if we did not have to do that. Now Wraiths are ganked, but you just need their units to go down. We can't use an attack move order again here, because otherwise they will target the buildings, which we do not need to kill. That is the Wraith line of sight coming in, so you can see that these elves are being revealed from miles away. Don't actually have enough faith for what I want to do, which is Obelisk, so we'll just have to still respond instead, continue that Vile Surge, but it'll be okay. And that looks like about a good time. Yeah, it was in fact a very early time, so with this, we're going to grab all these units, including the Stealth Archer's attention over there. We're going to run over here. They're going to all chase us, because the AI loves chasing units, and then we're just going to run right back there. And ta-da, we're done. 10:29, not bad. Can do that under 10 minutes, I think, if you're very good, but we wait a little bit too long, and now we are going to press the trolls into our service by destroying their lairs, and if you know anything about trolls, it's that they are stupid. And this mission is no exception. We're going to get some more Orc Bowmen just because we kind of can. Start with it right there, we probably wouldn't bother building it otherwise. So, this den is home to 2 trolls, and they are just, this one is quite fine with us bashing them in. This one we do unfortunately have to draw its aggro because it's kind of impossible to avoid. Keep an eye on this unit's health. It's not the end of the world if these die, it's not an objective to keep them alive like it has been in some of the earlier missions, but basically doesn't matter.
Who needs my whip? Move out! Who needs my whip? Faster! Don't rest! Move out! Stop! Stop! We will not teach you!
Excellent.
Keep moving! Has been completed. May? Your troops are under attack.
So we're going to bait these units out across the map. As you can see, I've set some rally points.
Who needs my whip? Ready.
So that our very fast cavalry, the Black Riders, can just kind of sneak in behind and bash it in.
I go now. I move. I move. Break. I go. Yeah.
And likewise, that troll we are going to carefully move it away such that I move these Black Riders slightly too late. That will be time loss, unfortunately.
We give up.
Yeah, we're now kind of, I mean, partially waiting them in and partially waiting on these slow stone hurlers. They are basically siege units. They do a lot of damage to buildings. They do okay damage to units. You can see their stats are, they're fine.
We will fight
Nice.
for this dark lords. Yes, we must scour the master's enemies from this world.
And as you can see, our population cap is comically over capacity because of all the trolls we've recruited, which cost 4 and 5 population respectively. Going to wait a little while for some of our reinforcements to get here and then engage the first Dwarven army.
Yes.
And this is why we will not be using trolls, because as you can see, not only are they melee units, but these ones are, they're against some tier 2 units, and they're already kind of dying terribly. We don't want to use any fate powers if we can help it, because then we'll be able to afford a Balrog, who is the only fate power we have at our disposal that does damage. And obviously, hello, why is everything lagging? Would be nice, but I think he's a goner, yeah. And that Nazgul also looks like he's a goner. Units do have an elevation bonus and an elevation malice, so we do want to park these raid units at the top of the hill, preferably. As we get resources, we'll also queue up to train another one of those. And now that most of the units are done, we will grab more units we can that still have decent health, which is almost none of them.
I go now. I go now. I go.
We'll put you in control move 2. Let's go to intercept our reinforcements.
Move out! I go now. Sauron will. Yes.
I have no idea what you're doing, but you shouldn't have been doing that.
I go now.
Here come the random junk, which we're just going to ignore, basically.
I move. Your troops are under attack. Your troops are under attack.
We want to summon a Balrog as soon as we can, but we gain less fate for damaging buildings, so it will take us a little while to earn what we need.
I go. Smash! Do you hear? Some troops are under attack. Troops are under attack.
Our workers in our base are probably dead at this point, but that doesn't matter because their base is going to be dead too. And we do not have an objective to keep our base alive, whereas they do. And as you can see, this is why we'll not be using trolls, because if you think, oh, these units are just kind of sucky, you would be completely right.
Ready.
That sucks. We're probably going to use a lot of units there. Yeah. And melee units are doing nothing, because that's what melee units like to do. We're actually managing to beat it off thanks to all those slave masters we rallied. Balrog is still struggling to do literally anything. I don't think that attack even hit anyone. We cannot use other fate powers while another fate power effects, so we can't even Vile Surge to heal our units up.
On with it. I go. Ready. Knock arrows!
Melee units! The good side gets an Imp, which is a ranged unit and is infinitely better than whatever this stupid stuff this Balrog's doing. Nope! There he goes! Does have a nice area of effect though, that's nice at least.
Say when. Calm down. Yes.
And it's out of time already, and it didn't even get to smack that bounty. That is just melee units in a nutshell.
I go. Break. Turn over. Calm down. Ready. The trolls.
837, not bad at all. Can do it slightly quicker if everything goes to plan. And this mission sucks, but it introduces our best unit available, the Uruk-hai, who is a cost-effective ranged unit. And it also introduces our best hero, Saruman, who we're only going to use in 2 missions. We can't train any of our workers because our goblin workers have run off and failed the wild men that live in the woods, so we're going to need to use our stealth units, who are ranged units, and the elven, the good-sized stealth units are archers. And you might think, wow, melee units kind of suck in this game. That's a bit of a scam for the evil side, and you would be absolutely and completely right.
Your wisdom shows. Understood. Understood. As you
the fact that these are melee units when the good side gets a ranged unit is a vast difference in power level.
very well.
But it is also what makes the campaigns a little more interesting, because the good side campaigns are extremely easy as you just hero ball to victory half the time. You should be going about there. So we're going to beat up these wildmen with our stealth units. Anyone who has played this game as a kid will remember those sounds and go, oh no, I need a ranger immediately. and they're just going to take that black vault, which is not really a problem. We kind of care about that building, but we don't care enough.
Death will require my blades.
An objective has
My knowledge is yours.
Now that we've killed them, our units run out. Game says it may be wise to construct an army before corrupting the barrels, which we are absolutely going to do, because if we don't, we will get completely ganked. A little slip up on Saruman sent some of our units in the wrong direction, but that's okay.
Blades are yours.
the whip teaches.
How may I help? A worthy plan. Construction is complete. I can help.
And we want Saruman to get these XP from these units so that he levels up, so that he gets more health, especially is the big one for Saruman, since he does not start with a lot. When we have enough workers, we'll spare one to go and repair that. Yes, please!
Think not. How may I help? A worthy plan.
Oh, bugger, I pressed it by accident. So, bugger was supposed to show off whereby we can get all of them for free, but I fumbled my hotkeys. Not the end of the world, but not ideal.
Your troops are under attack.
And one of the other reasons why this mission sucks is we are almost certainly going to get a bug which drops control of our buildings, which is a pretty big deal in a game where you predominantly produce units from buildings. So we're just going to have to work with it and restart the game after that one occurs, because it persists through save and load, annoyingly enough.
Peace, friend.
Going to order construction of 2 mounds. Actually, you can start repairing that, which we want to do eventually just because it's really good bait. AI loves going for it. While we're there, we'll also pick up the stack. And we need to train 4 more orc slashers as part of the basically objective. We would love to not do that, but we kind of just end up having to, and it is what it is.
Time for blood.
And like for 65 food, these guys are not at all worth it.
By Sauron's will.
So we're going to pick up the Darkness ability, which is going to give the Wraith an ability that will slow all nearby enemy units by 50%, which also decreases their damage output, which is a very nice number. We're deliberately oversaturating these just because A, we need a few extra workers for construction, and B, we're so tight for resources that we just kind of end up really wanting even the slight resource gain you get from oversaturating.
By Sauron's will.
Now that those rangers have been dealt with, Saruman is going to go down here.
You require my blades.
Target practice.
We're going to see if we can't get 2 wraiths, would be a nice amount.
Target practice. The whip teacher.
And we're going to spread out all our units so that we can get a good eye on where they're coming from, because which direction the AI decides to attack you from is basically random.
Upgrade is complete.
There is darkness coming in, so we're actually going to hold fire for a bit to get a perpetual darkness, which blinds a unit, which basically means they can't attack, which is absolutely great. It's like a better version of Bulk that doesn't even cost any Fate. Yeah, Fate powers in this game are very weak. I mean, you saw how kind of incompetent the Balrog was last mission.
The whip teacher.
That looks like it should do it, so we'll make a safety save, just in case it's so poorly.
You seek advice.
I go at once.
This will become our response through.
No rest.
It's going to pop into a cutscene.
Target practice.
And that's why we needed all 6 of these orc slashers. So we can convert them into Urukai, who are far better units. Also get a 5th Slayer at our home base.
My knowledge is yours.
There are going to be 6 Sparrow Whites, and we're going to need 1 for each orc slasher. It doesn't matter so much about the middle ones, but we need to keep an eye on the first and the last, are the big ones that really matter.
Peace, friend.
How may I serve?
As you can see, these units do not come with rangers, so we can beat them up completely for free, which is why we let the Heredrum Slayers at home, and everybody else over here.
Let us work.
Aha! There was invasion!
My knowledge is yours.
Wish we had that convert power by now, but we do not. Due to my little battle. Ah! Just came in. How very nice.
You seek advice. My Sauron require my blades.
Some troops are under attack.
Let us work together. Wise
Here we go.
counsel.
So now if I press these quickly enough, I completely missed and didn't even press R.
Wise counsel.
Target.
Oh well. And again, not the big steal that I kind of forgot about. This has been just fumble after fumble, but this mission sucks, and restarting it takes forever because of blah 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 blah. So we would just rather not have to do any of that. But we do want to keep an eye out for that last Uruk-hai, the last Barrow White.
Do you hear something?
We would also love to Vile Surge to heal with them, but we can't do that. They are classified as neutral, and you can actually take them with force attack, which obviously we're not going to do.
My knowledge is yours. In silence. In silence. Yes.
As you can see, still no detectors, so we're just going to kind of go ham on them.
Sauron's will. Yes.
I hear.
And at this point we're going to start saving up our resources.
I
Oops!
can help.
Incursion detected. Pestilence is a really bad ability. It's not worth getting at all. It's only worth getting as a result of that bug which lets you grab 2 for 1. But unfortunately I fumbled my hotkeys.
Peace, friend. My blades are yours.
One more of those. Measure.
My knowledge is yours.
And there's nearly off cooldown already. Which, if you think that's better than Bog, you were bang on right.
Wise counsel.
Bow ready. Move out!
For Harad.
Your troops are
Did I?
My blades await.
I thought I grabbed you. I clearly did not.
I will hunt them.
That bites, but not the end of the world. Definitely funding this a lot, but this mission sucks, so I will just be happy to have it over.
Troops are under attack.
So, my blades are yours.
Going to grab 3 of you and we will
As
3.
you wish.
Ready.
My
Another
knowledge
invasion.
is yours. Your wisdom shows. Wise counsel.
Bonus bug, units in lockback are not affected by spells correctly. Stun spells.
Your troops are under attack.
Now we can finally purchase that properly. And we're going to use it on him.
Plan.
Going to send 3 Heredrum Slayers over to a place of power over there. And we're just going to start mass producing Uruk-hai because they are just simply the best units we have available.
Let us work together.
We're going to
You
grab
seek
Saruman,
advice.
put him in control group
Clever.
2.
Well thought.
And these lot are going to come our attack on the north, and these lot are going to be our attack on the south. Sorry.
Let us work together.
And we're going to change the rally point.
For Harad. In silence.
We wish there was like some other set of resources you could colonize on this map, but there is not. There it is.
In silence.
We're just going to give them a guard order which will nicely encapsulate everything they need to do.
What? Do you hear something? A quarry is near.
And Uruk-hai take ages to trade.
I can help you.
No one. we're just going to dump the rally point from that. Excellent!
Place of power.
You require my blades. My blades are yours.
And now these lot want some. We're very nearly approaching our pop cap, and we're actually just going to build a few towers just in case.
I can help. Wise counsel, a worthy plan. Clever. The noose comes. Well thought. A worthy.
Q-Warns are great units that we always want to convert whenever possible because they are extremely strong. Game is hard lagging. Make a safety save. Maximum population, which we don't really care about.
Maximum population. I serve Isengard.
Control Group 2 is going to head down here. Control Group 1. It doesn't matter too much if our wraiths die, unlike the last mission, because we will hopefully be burning the space on the ground before they can even get the stealth upgrade.
Wise counsel.
This is very much, and if we attack soon, the mission will be very easy, but if we attack later, then they will have all this junk that we do not want to deal with.
Wise counsel.
We will freeze him.
A worthy
No, wait, you stay there. And please blast that ballista tower. It's going to do so much damage. Game is hard lagging. And Orkaya piercing against human blood, so they actually do a lot of additional damage, which is very nice.
Yes, I'll make it. Yes.
If I hadn't thumped Saruman so hard, we would be able to summon a Balrog, which we can finally do now, which is going to give us a lot of extra movement damage.
I serve Isengard. Command me.
And those units just spawn and they go to run off to the place of power, but that's not a problem. Please give me...
My knowledge is yours.
I'll make it. Command me.
And these lot will just basically continue keep being a nuisance. May as well pick that up. We still fortunately have not gotten hit with the bug, which deletes control of our units. Which, very thankful for that.
Command me. Slaughter. Command me.
Let us work together.
No, it deletes control of our buildings, rather. Melee units. Misbehaving as always. And we can't summon another Balrog because one is already in use, which is really stupid, and it's a super easy change to do this in the config files, but we can't because game.
Here to kill. Yes.
Who seek advice? Who seek advice? Clever. Let us work together.
Then a bunch of and since the spell is running low on time, we're going to kill it with Alt X and resummon it over here, and maybe it'll actually get an attack off. So a bunch of Huorns are going to come to say hello, but by the time they get there, we will have beaten them. Did we get the Wooden Bug? We did not. That's actually insane.
Saruman's vision of the
1537. That's not bad. Beginning was sloppy, but the end was very speedy. That was very nice. Now, in this mission is a pretty long build up and destroy, but we have a bunch of free spiders we can get, and there is a second set of money right by the start, which we are very eagerly going to sink our teeth into. In fact, we're going to so eagerly sink our teeth into it that we're not actually going to be able to afford to build a foundry, and we're going to have to go back to mining or the old-fashioned way.
I go. Don't hurt me. I am
Going to grab all our units except the Goblin Spearmen. You're in Control Group 1 now.
Come on, your order.
And these Goblin Spearmen we're going to keep around as units to free all the spiders, since they're going to be in their little egg sacs sleeping. And we're going to pick them all up after we've already reached our maximum population. Well, maximum is 36 with our starting slave masters. And that way we'll have enough army to go over here, which will get even more resources, and then we'll just be able to spam more Urukai for the victory.
My spear, not yours.
We can also finally get access to another hero. Grishnak is back for more. We will need 3 Fate and a higher level Fortress of Mordor to summon her. Really, that's okay. Which means we will get another Orc moment instead. Now, what's the... Still 2 more units in there. We'll put you on 7. You on 8. And we'll put you on 9.
I am here, master. Move out! Not arrows!
Not yours.
So you can see our population slowly getting up there. Going to order the construction of one of those and start really pointing you down to here now.
I promise. Yes?
35.
Master.
When that does, that will be 36 out of 36, and we will start freeing all the spiders to go comically over PopCap.
I crave blood. The master speaks.
Is there one more Goblin Screaming idea, wasn't
I see.
Taking position.
Yes.
The lidless eye searches. Mercy.
And we are going to pick up the Paralyze ability. It would be stupid not to, but we're a bit too poor for that right now.
Oh, what you wish.
What's happening with our work micromanagement? Aha,
Yes,
what's happening?
Yes?
upon your order.
And the forces that the enemy sends at us are going to be basically random.
Yeah?
So we don't really know when they'll be turning up. But we do know that there will always be those over there, and we're just going to see how many of them we can dash in. A very respectable level 8 on the Witch King already, going to upgrade that to level 3. And we're going to spam as many slave masters as we need to, basically. Spiders are kind of getting a bit ganked, but that's okay. We have plenty more where that came from.
Your troops are under attack.
7. Construction is complete. Was there... That was indeed paralyzed.
Yes, my master. The master speaks. I smell prey. By Sauron's will.
Going to send a unit up there. Make a save, because last time I did this it crashed. Whoops.
Crave blood. Your troops are under attack. The building has been upgraded.
That is good. That lets us get Grishnak.
By Sauron's
Actually, no, we'll get Grishnak in upgrade.
What is it? Your troops are under attack. The lidless eye searching.
Hopefully we should be able to kill that ranger without interference. Make another save, because last time I did this it crashed.
Crack the whip. No rest.
The worker actually gets here. We will get a hobble.
By Sauron's will. I can smell.
Nope, we do not in fact have no fun allowed. They are really protective about protecting that, which, good for them I suppose, but it would be really nice if they just left them alone, because that will summon Shelib, who's a neutral hero that we can't control, but nevertheless be very helpful for just dealing a lot of damage, dealing with a lot of stuff. Aha, Paralyze is finally out. Yes, there should be one lazy loafer. 7, 8. That's finally here. Going to pull back over here. Just because we don't want to be shooting, getting shot by that tower all the time.
Keep moving! Faster!
But it's not the button I wanted to press.
I shall not fail!
Pick that up.
Servant of darkness, as ye command, as ye command, I hear and obey.
So now on our workers, we should have a lot more than that.
We serve Sauron. I hear and obey. Instructions complete. Faster, the whip teaches.
Nice.
Fast as I can.
Shelib has been summoned. We're going to delete the Salt Slasher, so he stops bothering her.
Orders.
And Shelib is going to gain a very helpful amount of the enemy base for us. That is not invincible, and you'll be kind of surprised how fast her 2000 health goes down. And she'll flee when she gets half, so... Not the tankiest, but sure better than not having any Shelib.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord.
Your troops are under attack. Construction is complete.
Once, master.
Going to get more of old reliable Goblin Spearmen.
Your troops are under attack. I await your
And
command.
Grishnark's Torch ability is going to really carry out anti-rocket damage, because without it we're really struggling to get rid of these ballista towers. And so we begin to mass more and more Uruk-hai. 7, 8, 9.
What you wish. Something to stab.
And Uruk-hai are just such the best units at our disposal that we're just going to mass so many of them. But we don't want our Witch King to take too much damage. We won't be purchasing this ability, we'd rather save the Fate 4 battle roll. It doesn't even do anything unless we spend more Fate, which is just not a good ability. Here should be 6.
Yes, my lord.
Then we actually will also upgrade that so we can get the attack upgrades.
I serve Isengard.
Then you can see Shelib is running away, but she got rid of that tower when she got rid of that tower, which is totally fine by us. Shouldn't be using the hotkeys I literally just set up. Your control. Here we go.
Here to kill. The leader's eyes search for wise plan, master. I serve Isengard. Pay attention. Faster. Construction is complete. Yes, my lord. I need orders.
Excellent. That means we can pick up those ticks for more damage. Our units got attacked by an ember from a building. We'll put Krishna in control group 1, and everybody else can run and gather up here.
Words for Krishna. Here to kill. Destroy it.
Because we just need Krishna to burn a few extra things.
I can smell.
He'll get that done while the bulk of our army heads up here.
On your order.
To hopefully not get super ganked.
Speaks. Kill.
And as the Urukai do knock back on the target they hit, which is not as overpowered as it sounds, but it's definitely very nice. And Huon casting tree form is completely overpowered. So hopefully we can just tell our spiders to paralyze it, and then you lot.
For the white hand.
We just need to kill all these units around the place of power. There we go. 11 minutes, that's very good going. And next we're introduced to Salim and stealth units for the second time, and Salim is finally a hero with a single target hero ability, which is going to be an absolute godsend, even though in this mission we're actually not going to use all that much. And this is another mission where there are some more handy resources right here, which we're going to immediately start colonizing on, which it definitely is very nice that we actually have them. Salim says she is a support hero. That is technically true if you kill out deleting mass amounts of enemy units as support, which I would personally slightly disagree with this definition, because with this she does 20 damage to... Limited sand objective has been completed. I've heard that before, but I did not complete any kind of objective for you actually. You can be 7.
Yes.
Quiet. I am like the wind.
You can be 8.
How may I serve? Most cunning.
Whoops.
Over here. Slay them. Go.
Donk.
I am here.
Sir of darkness.
Nice! That is going to give all our units passive regeneration over time, which is going to be super handy for what are hopefully pretty obvious reasons, given heals are hard to come by.
Crack the whip.
It will just mean we don't have to worry slightly as much about all of our units exploding. And in this mission, again, we're going to tick up to Tech 4. We start at Tech 3, which is nice and close, and just spam more Urukai, because they are just by far the best unit available. And then we have to send our Heredrum with the stealth upgrade, which will need this. The upgrade we won't be using because it costs to use, to take him out. So actually a pretty short mission for how late it is in the games, and a pretty easy one. 7, 8...
Construction is complete.
When we've got enough ore, we'll build a smelter over there. But at the moment, it's not the case.
Here, master.
Please.
I am here, master.
And actually, I need to go to the bathroom, and after we order the smelter, won't be a bad time, because we're going to have to wait for resources to come in anyway to do a whole bunch of things. So I'll see you in a bit.
I am here, master.
Construction is complete.
Yes.
Your troops are under attack.
Just in time to deal with these suckers.
Pay attention! Keep moving! No rest!
We would like our slave masters not all get ganked.
Your troops are under attack. No rest!
And we have a nice amount of resources which we're going to use to train a nice amount of units.
Your troops are
And those small attacks on a couple of Rohan riders are simply not going to bother us. And as you can see, we're out of war already, so didn't waste too much time by not being present.
What's this?
Though I do think a couple of workers may have gone down, so we'll just get a few more just in case.
Quiet.
Yep, those lot are the we will just completely run home and ignore everything you have to focus on your home base for some reason, because that's to us the most juicy thing in the world.
My blades are yours.
Your troops are under attack.
Swiftly. Over here. Over here.
Come on, I need orders.
Workers to that end. That would have been a problem if that was happening while I was gone, but should be okay.
Nice master. Oh, wise master.
I
am here.
Master. I need orders.
Construction is complete.
Get going.
At once, master.
Crack the whip. I need orders.
We're going to train as many Uruk-hai as we can, but if we can't train an Uruk-hai because we don't have enough ore, we'll train an Orc Bowman instead. There are lots of units that cost more food than ore, but there are no units that cost more ore than food, aside from Slave Masters, which don't even count as a combat unit. Which can make balancing your economy kind of tricky. But we'll make it work.
Shadow.
By Sauron's will.
And also we will grab all of you.
Of course.
Group 2, because
Over
we
here.
don't want to have to make any more of you.
Quietly.
Oh, hello!
I serve Isengard.
Your troops
We'll
are
also
under
do that.
attack.
I am
Now we
here.
can finally use that thing where I told you about, where we get both abilities for the price of one.
Swiftly.
And one of them is a healing ability, which is going to come in a lot of handy.
Orders.
Target practice.
Yes. Swiftly.
Of course.
I am like the wind. Over here.
Now we need to get this ballista tower taken out ASAP, because it is fully garrisoned. It fires over twice as fast as regular ballista towers, and you can see that it's just non-stop slaughtering our units. And we would like it to not do that. So excellent, now it's taken out.
I am like the wind. Shadow.
We are also actually going to pick up that, because we can, because we're going to be kept at population shortly.
Some troops are under attack. Silence.
Ah, we can't use it because we're out of money, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, Salim, I want you to grab the attention of these suckers.
Quietly.
And
Yes.
run over here.
What's this?
Drop that poison trap, which is going to poison all nearby units. And keep spamming more Uruk-hai.
I am here.
Now that ranger is out of the way, which is just to confirm.
must I? Over here, quiet.
They sure are.
Raiders come. Of course.
We're going to send
Of course.
our Heredron Slayers over there. Completely forgot we should get Krishna over here, as his torch is going to be very handy. Now we can afford that. Wolf Helm is there. We'll make a save just in case. And we will wait for completely for the Rangers to come there and back again, just because we're not in a hurry since we've still got to blow up this encampment.
Quiet. I am like a
Yeah, if we went right there, we have been detected. Bother. Load quick save. That's not at all ideal.
Your troops are under attack.
Something. Very well.
You lot need to hang out down here.
As you wish. As you wish.
quiet.
That is why we made that
Yes.
quick save.
Troops are under attack.
Yes.
We may as well bring the Witch King along too for the fun.
Make your command.
Watch that. So wait for the Rangers to basically completely disappear past there and then just run stealth units.
Quiet.
But as mentioned earlier, we're not in a rush since we still have most of the other options anyway. And using this ability simply just is not necessary. We do plenty of damage. Nice.
Orders.
Yes.
Ready for battle. Watch it up.
You may wonder what town is up for. Well, I don't know either. They've completely made it up and they apparently based it off Idaris since it's called that in the game files and looks like Idaris, complete with 9 mounds on the left and 7 on the right, which is a very cute detail. But it's apparently not Idaris, and Salim is over here because of course everybody knows about the time that the Heredron warriors took over not Idaris in the Third Age. Yeah, I don't get it either. Aside from that little mishap with stealth units that went brilliantly in the Morgul Road. This one is a fun one, and it's got a lot going on, so I'll need to focus up for a little bit.
Oh, what you wish. Nice master.
Pay attention. I am here, master.
Grab the attention of these suckers.
Under attack. I am
Control group 7.
What? The whip teaches. They are doomed.
And then we're going to teleport up here, which we can't walk normally. You'll see you can't walk down, and we're going to run the Witch King all the way to above the enemy base at the very end of the level. The units are going to slightly misbehave, but that's going to be a problem.
The building has been upgraded.
Nice master.
We're going to be upgraded, that's fine.
Troops are under attack.
Ah, yes.
What is your will?
Again, we do need to bash these 2 Elven archers in. Not a problem that I need to give an order immediately since we have to wait on this to get to level 3. It's basically the bottleneck.
Your troops are under attack.
Nice!
The lidless eye search. I am here, master.
Beating up these Elven archers since they have the elevation bonus, and we don't start with enough range units.
Upon your order.
So we're not supposed to be able to get up here, we're supposed to have to bash through that, and then a bunch of fighters of Rohan would come and attack us, and Ferocious Orcs are going to engage Rondor Swordsmen, and most of them are going to lose, and we hope they lose, because we don't want them clogging up our population cap.
Under attack.
They are very bad units,
Are under attack.
and we simply do not want them. Because they are those Orc slashers that I talked about, which are just costly, ineffective, and bad.
Your troops are under attack.
Oh look, we got some.
What is it?
We will see more often. And we get 5 fate points for finding the archer's perches. We're going to teleport right back home, and what those 5 points are going to do is they're going to allow us to get Krishna back way earlier than we're kind of supposed to be able to. And having Krishna so early is going to allow us to push over here to get these resources to get stealth units, because we need Heredrum Slayers and we need a lot of them.
All the troops are under attack.
Good, as long as we get rid of Salvan Archer, those lot will have done their job. I really don't care what happens to them beyond that. We're going to completely oversaturate with workers because we're going to pull a bunch of workers. We're going to pull a bunch of workers off to help build our colony. Krishnaka's done, and that means Control Group 1 can head over here.
I want flesh. I'm off.
Some Elven Archers are wandering off. They're going to completely gank our weak Orc Slashers, but that's kind of part of the course. And only limited number of units can actually attack this building at any one time because we're jank. So here are all these units that we were talking about. 7, I need a lot more workers. You to not get ganked.
Yes, my master. For the white man, no rest. Your troops are under attack. Keep moving. Get going.
We would not basically be able to push this if we didn't have Krishnark. You can see he's got a lot of health and a lot of attack now. He's just doing a good job of being a good hero. His explosive charge ability, we can detonate immediately, and does decent damage, but more importantly knocks everybody back so that they will stop bothering us. As funny as it sounds, we actually kind of want this troll to go down because he's simply not going to regenerate in any reasonable amount of time, and we really need the population space, since he costs 5 population, which is a lot. Getting this down later than I would like, but it should be okay, because we're... what's our worker distribution looking like? Looks like we need one more over there. You can see we survive by the skin of our teeth, and even so there are still random raids and random whatnot that are going to be a nuisance.
Pay attention.
Like those lot. Unfortunately, Krishnark's explosive trap ability will do a good job of knocking them back if they don't get knocked back by the Urukai. Great stuff. You might think, well, these are really not many units, and you'd be right. That's why we're going to change our build into stealth units, which are going to, since you'll notice there are no rangers on these islands, and there are very few rangers placed at mostly static spots around the map. Keeping the Urukai around though, that's very nice. That's not guaranteed at all. This has been generally a bit sloppy and slow, and I should have had more workers over here already, but it should be okay. We don't need food as much, so while we are of course going to pick it up, it's not a priority like getting on the ore is, which is by far our bottleneck. And you can see, because we don't have that troll and all those units side, we have plenty of population space.
Keep moving.
Which has just mean we don't need to get as many slave masters, which is going to save us little on the ore. That is stealth coming in. Ideally we would have few Heredrum at this point in time, but we don't, and that is okay. A little slow. Rather than helping them to build that, we'll tell them to build a separate one, because again, building with multiple workers is just not worth it. And you can see our heroes are regenerating nicely. The hero regeneration rate is quicker than the unit regeneration rate. And the reason why we built that war post is because it is an excellent distraction for those suckers. They're just going to smack it, and if they blow it down, we'd of course like that to not happen, but it is really not the end of the world. Krishnark needs to run over here, place that, detonate it. Nice! The targeting radius on that is very finicky, but as you can see, knocked all of them back, and since repairing is free, you can just do that without a hitch. And we can start going to Slayers now.
Words for
My blades await.
And our first job for them is going to be run down there, where there is another Orc Mask Place of Power, which adds +3 attack, which is a lot. But more importantly than that, by having it, they don't have it. And if they don't have the +3 attack, the unit's going to hit a lot less hard, which is going to be very nice for us. And in particular, when we get here, Grosh's army of orcs is going to help us out. But Grosh's orcs are really weak, really bad units. And classic. Still got some of them. And if we have the Place of Power, they'll get the bonus too. Which actually will mean that they actually punch way above their weight. And will actually help us out significantly in the battle. We wish we could get Saline to heal our units, but for some reason, she's disabled. Next purchase should just be another one of these.
Blades await.
In fact, we'll go for 2
My
more,
blades await.
burning a bit more resource than we know what to do with.
by Sauron's will.
Yes. You require my blades.
The sooner we can pick that up, the better. But we still have a lot of stuff to wade through before we can actually call this mission done.
Of course.
Your camp is under attack.
Warzomies.
Yes, my lord. Words for
Blades await. My blades.
Speed of the warp will actually also increase the speed at which he places the trap down, which is nice. Nice! They will sporadically send random units to retake that, but none of them include any detectors, so that's not a problem for us.
Yeah.
Now, next on our to-do list
vengeance.
is slowly work through the swarm of units that are between us and the objective.
Construction is complete.
My blades await.
Yes,
My blades await.
No rest.
And that's why we built 4 of those, because, as you can see, no rangers mean we can just go spam. And this kind of happens, these units are supposed to fight, but the trigger for that doesn't properly fire. But we'll still get the units, actually, if we take out all the Gondor swordsmen. And admittedly, they're orc slashers, so they're completely psyched, and we're just going to kind of send them to their doom as soon as possible, but it's pretty funny that we get them all for free. The blades do, in fact, await. And we're out of Slave Master cap, so that means we can start getting these damage upgrades, which they're only +1, and for 75, it just makes mathematical sense to get more Slayers instead. While you're all dealing with that,
Silence.
actually, I have a good idea for you. You can run up here,
and obey.
and they will get attacked along the way, but we do not care because they are completely expendable, and we want them to die so that we have more pop space for actually good units like Slayers instead.
By Sauron.
Get that.
Servant of darkness are under attack. For the tribe.
Aha! There's a ranger. We want to summon a Balrog right there. We want to bait this ranger all the way home because he is the only ranger on the ground between
Your allies are under attack.
between and units will be dying. That's totally okay. He is the only ranger between us and basically the next barricade, which will allow us to progress to the next stage of the mission. So blowing him up means we can just get things done quicker and better. Our melee unit is doing melee unit things, but he's just there to cause a ruckus since the AI doesn't actually properly activate until you blow up the barricade, at which point Grosh's units will also start coming flooding in. So if we can just torch a whole bunch of stuff to the ground while they're not looking, essentially, that suits us completely fine.
My blades await.
As a result of that ranger being gone, we're going to rally point all the way over to here, and our units are just going to have a field day because there's nobody to stop them.
My blades await. My blades await.
Maximum population? Yes, I have. So we'll want to start getting these attack upgrades now because, well, we don't have the population to go for any more units. Very nice, Balrog. And I think we at about a state where we can comfortably do that, and we will also send our heroes along for the ride. We'll also actually get Gollum as well, just because he doesn't cost any population. But he's a very non-worthwhile unit. Sorry, any Gollum enjoyers. Get him with that ballista tower is bigger, as it might just be a huge nuisance to us. Here, your allies are under attack. Because, well, they are, and we don't need for that one. Now that we've got to that ranger, these units can't see us anymore, although they will be able to see the Witch King in Krishna. But fortunately, if they do end up dying, hopefully they don't. But Witch King's health is still staying in good quantities.
On my way, of course, understood.
We're just going to tell all of our units to do as much damage as possible, as fast as possible.
I can smell their fear.
And that Urukai is probably going to get ganked, but that's kind of fine. Upgrade the Fortress of Mortar so we can get the last attack upgrade.
What is your will?
And you can see, as a result of equipping the AI earlier with the Balrog, there's nothing here, because we bashed all their workers in. And Grosh's army is, in fact, wrecking house, because they've got the +3 from the Orc Mask, and that there isn't anything to contend them because we already got rid of the ballista towers.
Require my blades.
This went exceptionally clean. A little scuffed in the early game. Nice!
The band of
That went really well. And now it's time for the last mission where we have to beat up 3 enemy encampments, and it's kind of a joke, but there's a lot to do at the start, so I need to concentrate.
Oh, what you wish. Oh, what you wish.
what? Keep moving!
Die.
What? I am here. Get going! The whip teaches.
Nice master.
The whip teaches. I am here. Your troops are under attack.
So this AI has a bunch of units that could easily take us all out, but for some reason they're just kind of allergic to using them. Like, you can see that they come over here, but if we just move away a bit, then they'll just kind of go back home, even though we're kind of going to be actively slaughtering all their workers and whatnot. Which, well, we sure are not going to complain about the AI being a bit stupid.
They feel fear. Keep moving!
1, 2, 3, 4.
You have taken control of a place of power.
It's going to make all our upgrades 67% cheaper, which, if you thought that was a huge number, it is a huge number. And we're just going to camp their worker food line so that they can't get any more workers, which is going to completely cripple them. We are now bottlenecked by getting a Fortress of Mordor up to level 3 as soon as possible. And to do that we're going to need a lot of war. We're actually going to bash this tower in because it's going to continually annoy us. Most of their workers are gone.
What? Get going! I am here, master. Who needs my whip? construction is
Don't
complete.
hurt me! Oh, I dropped it first, yes?
We serve Sauron.
And giving a guard order there just means they'll chase, but they won't go too far. Since there are some very nasty units over here, there's also a front route, which would be a huge pain for us to deal with. But we're just not going to go in the front route, and we're instead going to sneak on the back route, which is going to make everything infinitely easier, and all those really nasty units are simply just not going to pay us any attention, even though their base is literally falling apart as we speak. Fun bug is that we can press U when a building is under construction to upgrade it immediately. Now that that's done, we can actually also delete that one. I said delete the war post. Eesh, that was close. Hey, right, there's a bow behind you. Come out and you can see, even though the Witch King is ranked 10, he's got a lot higher stats than what he started all the way back 2,000 years ago.
Wise master.
I am here, master. A building has been
Upgrading that to level 3 will let us get a second hero, even though it's only upgrading and not done, and we'll really put it over there. And we will also...
master.
Wise master.
No, you should be control group 2. And you should be control group 3, and we have a pretty large amount of workers.
Yes, my master.
And as you can see, we can kind of just disassemble their base without any repercussions from all those units under there, who, if they actually got all their forces together and attacked us, they absolutely would completely rig us. Right, Krishna, you need to torch that.
At once.
Getting slight lag spikes, which is not at all ideal. Gonna go to level 4.
The whip by Sauron. Light it up! What? Move out! I await your command! We serve Sauron.
The explosive trap does actually also do damage to buildings, so that's why we're using it. Though it looks like it won't detonate before it goes off. Slave Master, War Post. And we're going to lose some of our Black Riders. It's not the end of the world, though it would have been nice to keep them.
A wise plan, master. A wise plan, master. Your troops are under attack.
And somebody is taking a stupid route round, and they're getting completely ganked by those ballista towers, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Your troops are under attack. Your troops are under attack. Words for Krishna.
Now, we actually don't want to use torch on anything except this foundry, because buildings taking fire damage do not does not count towards fate. Whoops, I just did not do that, but autopilot got the better of me. Oh well. And we're going to want to mass build a lot of orc mounds, so we can get tons and tons of Uruk-hai super quickly.
We serve Sauron. We serve Sauron. Yes, my master.
Don't hurt me.
Pay attention. Come on.
Not bad, only losing one
Serve Sauron. Yes, my master.
one Uruk-hai, only one Black Rider. I've definitely lost a lot more, so that's not bad at all.
The building has been
Building has been upgraded to level 5, that's going to allow us to get Saruman, we can get one more fate point. And we don't really need to grab that food deposit, partly because doing so would basically necessitate another goblin hovel, and that would be too much ore, basically. And you can also see that we have way too much ore and don't know what to do with that. So as much as we can, we're going to train Uruk-hai, but if we can't train Uruk-hai, we'll train Orc Bowman instead.
I need orders. Crack the whip. Yes, my
Should
lord.
still be space to get this, please.
I
Don't
need
melee weapons out
orders.
very well.
I need orders.
Nice. 6, 7,
Construction is complete.
8,
Construction is
Yes,
complete.
my lord.
Construction is
9.
I need orders. Yes.
Really point them on Krishna, just because Witch King has a habit of getting themselves into sticky situations.
I need orders.
And we might have to pull him out, which would then kind of send all our units not in the right direction.
I need orders. Move out.
Construction is complete. Construction is complete.
We need a bunch more slave masters.
Orders.
Nice master.
And because of that, Dragon Skull Place of Power, all those upgrades are dirt cheap, which is why we're building 2 of them. Previously, I built Wraiths, but the AI is not will not pick up the stealth upgrades, which is actually kind of nice. This should be enough to get us started on the next encampment. We are saving the remaining buildings. Saruman will help us out with those. And that is another pretty heavily garrisoned building. Pull back the Black Riders if we can, but it's not the end of the world if they go down. Take spikes, I'll make a safety save. And forfeit means Saruman. You can see we're kind of at the point where that well would be useful, but we're also nearly at maximum health, so nearly at maximum population, so it really doesn't matter. Krishna is going to place a bomb over there and wait for it to detonate because clicking on it is super difficult, and you can see big bomb. Nice.
Your troops are under attack. By Sauron's
Upgrade is complete. Upgrade is
That
complete.
would be the armor and damage.
Let us work together. Your wisdom shows.
When we get 3 fate, we will nab Salim again. Or hit a unit instead, actually. We are down to 1 Black Rider, but that does not really bother. Salim on the way. We will get Golem only when our population is maxed. Saruman is approaching here, and he is going to yoink this Huron for us. The Huron is an extremely powerful unit with the ability to go to tree form, which they apparently didn't have on that one. Weird.
Your troops are under attack.
Anyway, he's going to join our team. Salim's going to come along as well.
Your troops are under attack. Yes.
Let us work together.
Yes. Kill.
We're going to basically save the rest of our faithful Balrogs. Salim is pretty bad against buildings, so we're not even going to bother.
Upgrade is complete.
There. swiftly.
Your troops are under
Give me
attack.
that, and give me that, and that.
You seek advice. A worthy plan.
Orders.
A worthy plan.
Upgrade is complete. Yes, your troops are under attack.
We are going to have to dedicate more units to that, unfortunately.
My knowledge is yours. Your wisdom shows.
That's
Let us work
okay.
We are on the same path.
Yes.
Taken control of a place
Hotkeys to cast out
Let us
abilities
work
easier.
orders.
And now there is a unit we really want, and it is the bear.
Wise counsel.
Because the bear can turn back into human form since he's a Bjorning, the skin changer.
Let us work.
And that is extremely handy because in the human form he is a healing unit. Just lost another Nazgul, but that's okay. We want to freeze because unlike stunned units, frozen units actually can't be directly attacked by our units. So ideally we can keep that unit alive long enough for us to
Upgrade is complete. Upgrade is complete.
ideally we can keep the unit alive long enough for us to be able to convert it back. No, that's not the case. So well. Stormdo going to do a great job healing all our units up.
Let us work.
We just have to keep him out of combat since he's kind of bad at actually doing fighting. Going to Balrog them. Start Balrogging all over the place. And that should be enough units to easily clear out these ballista towers.
Rip it down. Peace, friend.
Giving our units orders via the minimap so they stay entertained.
I await your command.
Balrog is doing melee unit things. Finally attacking! You can see he's continually healing our units, which is very nice. And he knows to not prioritize the full health units too, which is even nicer. Very nice. At this point, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I can help you.
Now we're actually going to leave. I forgot something. We need slave masters there, and we need them there yesterday. That is a problem.
Upgrade is complete. Peace, friend.
Your wisdom shows. Your wisdom shows.
Your troops are under attack. Words for Grishnak. What?
Fortunately, we've got at least one slave master, but we really wanted 5 here, since we need to place war posts around the town, which I completely forgot to do.
I can help you.
Here we go.
I can help you.
Ideally, these war posts should be being placed earlier, but
Let us work together.
Yes.
Crack the whip. Keep moving.
we have another one coming along. Got this one with our tower. We do not care. They're just going to get knocked back to oblivion. We definitely should have had another slave master
Who needs my whip?
bringing up the rear.
Keep moving. No rest. No rest.
Who's going to make it?
Upgrade is complete. An objective has been completed. Minas if.
And that is time. So the campaign has, first of all, there's still more to optimize in this. The campaign has some fun missions, like that one's quite fun, that one's quite fun, that one's decently fun. That one's also just kind of a fun micro-fest, but something also a complete slog like that one, the first one. This mission is just painful. And some of these earlier missions can just feel like really strong, especially like waiting for those armies of Gondor is just a complete snooze fest because you easily have the capability to completely overwhelm them, but you can't. And the this is quite in contrast to the good campaign, which I will probably eventually show at some point in time, where you can. Oh, I don't have any of them locked. You can hero ball basically your way through this mission, 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 and you only have to think very slightly for the very last mission. So I do quite enjoy that evil campaign. Oops, I'm on the wrong profile. Is more challenging and requires you to actually build up an army and like working out how much army you need and how quickly you can go. And those ones is quite interesting. The game is old, janky. I'm surprised it didn't crash on me and we didn't get the bug whereby all your buildings drop selections and units only respond to attack orders, not move orders. Very fortunate we didn't get that, since it seems to really like striking on that one. And you saw melee unit pathfinding is just atrocious, which makes range units far stronger. They also have homing projectiles, forgot to talk about that. But it's still a very charming game, full of fantastic voice acting, incredible music, and it's the only Lord of the Rings game in which you experiment with bringing the trolls into service. In the Third Age 1999, the events of the Third Age were talked about in the movies at like 3,000, but here you have sacking of Benethil in Third Age 2002 and taking Dol Guldur in Third Age 1000, and that creates this mission is the one about Upboard and Salim. It's completely made up. But some of the other ones, it's really interesting in a different perspective, even if the balancing on this game is completely up the wazoo. And you'll see that even more in the good campaign, where you can just hero ball your way through. And you saw we were just only mashing Uruk-hai instead of all of the other units, just because they were so much better. And good side has that even worse, because their Uruk-hai is the Elven Archer, which is stealth, and their Troll Bone Cleaver is the Huorn, who has the overpowered tree form ability, which stuns everything within 10 units. But it is a fun game. I'm going to see exactly what time this comes out to, and sort things out from there.